Good morning and a very warm welcome to the Philosophy, Religion and Ethics Department. We are now called Philosophy, Religion and Ethics because that sums up the three aspects of our A-level curriculum. We used to be Religious Studies, and that's what you might have called us at GCSE, but at A-level those are the three elements, and they each make up a third of the OCR course. So what does it involve? Why is it a fantastic course? And why might you enjoy it? Well, in philosophy, we study the greats of history like Plato, Aristotle, St. Augustine and St. Anselm. But we also look at modern day scholars like Jean-Paul Sartre, all of whom talk about the meaning of life, do we really exist, and might it make a difference if we don't? Then in ethics, we look at what is the right thing to do. Is it ever right to take life? Is it right to have an abortion? What about euthanasia? And also, what about business ethics? If you've never thought, are you ethical when you go shopping? This might be an interesting course for you. You will never go into Primark or Apple without thinking about that again. You will also enjoy a lot of discussion. In theology, which is the posh name for religious studies, we look at the Bible, we discuss how to interpret it, and we look at non-traditional interpretations of the Bible. So, we look at what Jesus said about women and why the church hasn't taken it seriously. We look at theology from developing countries and look at what the world might look like if it was run from the perspective of those in the two-thirds world. We try to look at each other's views in a balanced way. We look at guilt and conscience and does something stop you doing what is wrong? We write essays, we go to conferences and live lectures, and we also eat cake. So what do students who study philosophy, religion and ethics go on to do? We have many lawyers. We have some who go on to psychology degrees, philosophy degrees, medicine, dentistry, ophthalmology and much more. Some go abroad to study liberal arts. In the last few years, students have gone on to a wide range of universities, from Cambridge and Leeds, York and Nottingham Trent, and as far afield as Edinburgh, Utrecht, and even Harvard. You need to have an inquiring mind, be open to challenging others and to being challenged. It does not matter what you believe personally, and it doesn't matter if you haven't done religious studies for GCSE. We would love to have you coming to join us for interesting discussions. But enough from me. I'm going to hand over to my two prefects, Imi and Sakshi, who are going to tell you what they really enjoy about PRE, what topics are good and what they are going on to do. Thank you both.
So first we thought we'd discuss what we actually enjoy most about PRE. So Imi?
Okay, so I really enjoy the discussions that we have in class, and they're really good because everyone has a lot of respect for each other, no one judges anyone, and everyone is able to express their point of view, and it's just really good because we are able to learn a lot more about the topics whilst we have those discussions as well, and I think it helps for revision as well.
Yeah, and on top of that really, because everything we do is so relevant to things in the wider world, it means that we can discuss very prevalent issues, so the abortion laws in America or the Black Lives Matter movement, for example. So I think it's really good for gaining an understanding of the wider world as well as the actual things on our specification.
Definitely. So should we talk about our favourite topics?
Yes.
So my favourite topics are in the theology side of the course, the Gender and Society unit. This is really interesting because we get to learn about how different marriages are in a secular context and in a religious context. It's really good to compare them and see how they've influenced each other over time. At the same time, I really enjoy the Gender and Theology unit. It's great because we learn about feminism and how that is a challenge to the church. We learn about Mary Daly and how she believes the church teaching is sometimes outdated and especially sexist with the religious language that is used, and that links to the philosophy topic of religious language when we debate whether symbolism or analogy is the best approach.
So on the topic of philosophy, I'd say that's probably more my side of the course where I enjoy things. So I'd say I'd take quite a two-pronged approach here. So I'd say, firstly, one of the topics I enjoy most is the big debates such as does God exist and the evidence for God. So we look at things like the cosmological argument or the teleological argument, and we can look at the causes of things in the world or evidence of design in the world, or the ontological argument where we look, which is a bit harder, it's a bit more complex, but it's more looking at the language that we use as humans and whether that in itself proves the existence of God. And then that also covers things like the problem of evil, which I think really are things that every individual thinks about at some point in their life. So it's really interesting to see whether this is just a mystery of God, whether it disproves God, or if it can even be traced back to the original sin with Adam and Eve. So yeah, that's definitely interesting to be looking at.
Yeah, everything about the course is so interesting. So we thought we'd tell you about what we're both going on to do. So we're both going to do law at university, aren't we? And we believe that PRE has really helped us in a way because it's given us transferable skills. So such as when we are writing essays, we have to conduct and structure an argument, which is really valuable when we're going to go on to study law at university. And some universities require you to take the law admissions test. So this also filters into that and has prepared us both quite well.
Yep. And then in terms of the actual content of the course, that in itself is also really helpful because on the ethics side of the course, we look at things like moral theories and whether we should make decisions based on the greatest good of the greatest number or whether we should have societal duties in mind. And that really integrates to a lot of things in law. But also in a wider sense, if you're going on to do medicine, we talk about abortion and euthanasia, or if you're going on to do economics or business, we look at the ethics of business and whether corporations are moral agents. So you can see that the entire course is really relevant for quite a lot of walks of life, really, and is really relevant for everyone, I'd say.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you.